First company, it's Jeff Watcott of Acquia. Did I get that right?
You did.
All right.
You did.
Welcome, guys. You have 5 minutes. And by the way, I'm going to be very, very diligent about keeping you to 5 minutes.
Great.
Go.
Thank you. So everywhere I go today, companies are trying to build communities around their products, their content, and their causes. It's a great way to increase engagement and a way to improve the relationship with your community. But as we know, it's pretty easy, right? Well, it's really rough, actually. You have to go and get a new content management system. Then you have to go and implement feeds and tags. Then you got to go and add some blogs, sprinkle in some wikis, maybe add some discussion groups and some community forums. Then you got to implement a social networking engine, and then write a whole bunch of custom code to integrate it all together. That's really nice, right? No, it's really hard. What a ridiculous and expensive headache. Well, there's got to be, more that we can do about this. Social, the hosted solutions are out there, and they'll say we've got a quick fix, but actually they're not cheap, and they don't always work the way you want them to. There's got to be a better way, and there is. It's called Drupal. Drupal is the social publishing system that's proven. It's been around since 2001. It's got over 2 million downloads, and it's an open source, an incredible open source project. It's actually backed by a huge global community that uses it to implement the type of patterns that we talked about earlier. In fact, I think we've got some Drupal users in the audience today. Let's hear it for Drupal. Anybody out there? All right. And it's a great open source product, and it's just incredibly powerful. And it's used by sites, over 250,000 sites around the world, including the top brands that you're seeing right here. And they use Drupal because it's way cheaper than the proprietary systems, and it gives them more power than the other open source alternatives. So, to show you a little bit more about how Drupal works, I'm going to turn the time over to Barry Jaspin, one of our principal engineers at Acquia. Go ahead.
Thank you. So, suppose I'm a bicycle manufacturer. Suppose I'm a bicycle manufacturer, and I would like to build a community website for cyclists to be able to post information about rides they like and put information about rides they like and share it with their friends. So no existing CMS has a built-in concept of a bike ride, but with Drupal, through the administrative interface, it's very easy to create one. So I told Drupal that a bike ride contains a title, a map, some photos, distance and difficulty rating, and a text description. Drupal creates this input form for me, and as users submit rides, it creates the view pages as well. All right, so that's great. But now suppose I'd like my visitors to be able to vote on these rides. Well, because I'm using Drupal, I just have to enable another module. So I'll switch to an administrative login, visit the modules page, and enable the 5-star voting module. Go back to the user session, refresh the page, and now I can vote on it. Awesome. Okay, so let's look at the home page. Now, Drupal has a variety of powerful tools for retrieving and displaying information. On the right, I've asked it to show me all of my top-rated rides. In the center, I've asked it to combine the user-generated content like bike rides along with blog posts from my staff, like announcing that we're having a demo program for our new prototype bike frames, and news items that I aggregate from RSS feeds from other sites. It presents it all for me in one unified list. Now, over on the left, I've got a list of all the rides that are near the current user. But these rides all have map information, so in fact, Drupal can do a lot better. So switching back to my administrative screen, I can edit the display for these rides and change them from a list view into a map. Save that. And now we've got a map, and of course, if I click on a marker, oh, wait a minute. So the pop-up doesn't actually fit in the space I have for it. But looking at the page, it would really fit better under the what's spinning section. There's more width there. So we can go to the design page and say, all right, we'd like the nearby rides under what's spinning, and let's take the photo carousel up to the left side, save that, go back to our home page, see how it looks. Oh, see now the photo slider needs to be vertical instead of horizontal. All right, the point here is that there are thousands of Drupal modules providing all kinds of functionality which you can assemble into whatever kind of website you want.
Thanks. That's the really important point here. Drupal is about assembling your site instead of writing lots of custom code. But you may be asking, now that you've seen the power of Drupal, what's missing? Well, Drupal customers do ask questions like this. What kind of modules do I install? Where do I get support? How do I keep my site up to date? Where do I start? That's where Acquia comes in. We're a commercial open source software company that's going to provide subscriptions and supported distributions for Drupal. And that's what we're going to offer, and we're going to have those in the fall. Check it out at acquia.com. Thank you.
All right, you just made it. Well done. What do you think, guys?
Well, I'm just wondering if you've already started your acquisition discussions with Oracle, because they're
We're working on
you've
that.
got it set. You're open source. You're you know, this open source community turned support services business obviously has precedent, but it's also a support business, and you guys have historically been in a software business. So do you think is that I'm just not sure that's as much fun.
Well, you know, we're setting up systems to be able to be world class in support. I mean, we recognize that that's what the open source business is all about, and that's how we're hiring.
Well, as a 6apart board member, I have nothing to say.
Yeah, I was going to say my site's on 6apart, and I want to do some of that stuff. So you get them going on that.
Which raises a question, which is if you think about your competition, so WordPress has got to come to mind, of course 6apart as well. So how do you compete against those guys and win?
Yeah, so we offer a lot more functionality today than WordPress offers and a lot of other systems offer. Those systems are mostly built up around blogging. Drupal actually has blogging, wikis, forums, social networks, all built in. So technologically, it's ahead. And also now with a company behind it, we think we can really propel it further and keep that lead.
And Drupal has a really enormous community of people that develop for it all over the world and that use it. And that's one of its greatest strengths, is the hundreds of thousands of people that are involved in the project.
There's almost as many people developing the Drupal core as there are developing the Linux kernel.
So could you give an example of your most value-added service or software?
Sure. So within our subscriptions, we'll have the technical support, but we'll also offer, a service for keeping your site up to date. So we offer you notifications through the network when your site's out of date, and we help you manage that process. We also do content filtering, kind of like what WordPress does with Akismet, but it goes further in terms of all the content on your site, and you can set whatever content bars you want, and we'll filter it for you. We provide that through the network as part of a subscription. And there's a whole set of those, including more we've discovered at the show, that fall in that category.
What about scale? There's, obviously lots of these solutions work well when it's 1,000 people, it's 2,000 people. Do you have sites that are running at scale on Drupal, and what's your experience been there?
Sure, there's some huge ones like nowpublic.com, user-generated news site running on Drupal, theonion.com running on Drupal, others.
The New York Observer newspaper, a variety, and there are sites with millions of Drupal nodes, millions of hits. And it's a LAMP stack. It requires some skill to tune, but that's one of the things that we're going to make easier to do.
That's right.
All right.
I got to cut you guys off.
Great.
Thank you very
Thanks a lot.
much for your
Appreciate
time.
it.
Thank you.